Well, hello there. This is Customizing the Clone Wars. This is episode 19. And once again, I am your host, Peak Obi-Wan, Customizer. Along with me, I have my co-host. He is from the Customs for the Kid blog spot. He is Darth Daddy. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing really well. Sorry that we weren't around last week. We had some stuff going on. I tried to do like a little filler episode so anybody who came to the blog still saw something. It was a little interview I did with an artist called Thank the Maker, and it was on 3D printed Star Wars toys. So yeah,
I saw
here
that.
we are.
Really great. Really great show.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I figured that's something I never really had a lot of exposure to, and it was something I was excited about, learning more. So I just figured I had the opportunity. I figured I'd just take it, and yeah, I hope everybody else gets something out of it also. But this week we get to talk about landing at Point Rain, which is
That's right.
That was a powerful episode. I remember right off the bat, I was pretty blown away. That's one of those episodes that really kept you on the edge of your seat.
Yep.
And it was probably one of the best action sequences I ever saw on the show.
I agree. I was like shaken when I saw this because remember we were talking about this earlier. They had put us a week out. They took a week off, and then they brought it back after this romantic Senate spy episode, the previous episode that we were on with Rush Clovis, and then they bring it back after a week, and it's what the Clone Wars ultimately everybody envisions the Clone Wars to be, right? I mean, it was just crash, boom, bang, just the whole time, right from start to finish, right?
Oh yeah, you felt like the stakes were high right off the bat, and it was like a 1-2 punch, like boom, boom. You didn't know who was going to survive, what was going to happen. Really felt like the Republic forces were in severe jeopardy as they're coming in on Geonosis in their gunships.
That is very, very true. Very true. This is episode number 5 in season 2. For those of you who have never seen our show, for those of you who have, thank you for being with us. We appreciate it. Every single week you're with us. What our show is we go through the Clone Wars, an awesome animated show from 2008 to about 2013 that it aired. The Lost Missions went up to 2013, right?
I remember the action figure line went kaput in around 2013.
That's when it went all kaput, right?
Yeah, but I think we still got season 5 and then the bonus content maybe in 2014.
Possibly,
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was around that
because
time,
I know
right?
we didn't get any more figures after season 3.
The Lost Missions, right?
Or we didn't get any figures after from season 3 forward.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think what was Chewbacca like the last?
Yeah, in 2012 they did kind of a rehash kind of wave and whatnot.
Yeah,
and just kind of.
Chewbacca was like one of the only new ones we got out of that.
Yeah, they had a couple good ones, but just certainly not enough. And that's another reason we do this show, folks. While we're giving you our commentary, our take, if you will, on the show, we are showing you our customs, just the unsung heroes, the ones we really wished we had, the things that maybe should have come out, right, Brian? Some of the different things I just...
Oh, yeah. Most definitely the things I would have liked to have gotten, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there was definitely some that could have just been simple repaints, and we didn't get them. But let's get into this episode. Here we go. I'm going to read from the episode guide. We are doing it in season by season. We're doing it in order. Like I said, this is episode 5 of season 2. So I will read from the little episode guide here. And it says, Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ki-Adi-Mundi lead a massive Republic invasion of the planet Geonosis, whose factories are once again turning out weapons and droids for the Separatists. In the fierce fighting, both Anakin and Obi-Wan are shot down and must fight for their lives against the Geonosian forces. Wow. So there is landing at Point Rain. Let's get into it. Fortune cookie time, or not fortune cookie. Yes, it is fortune cookie time. Here we go. Let me share the fortune cookie. This is kind of the little message, the message in the beginning of the show in the episode. It says, "Believe in yourself, or no one else will." What do you think about that?
I'm scanning my brain, trying to figure out where in the episode, what influence that would have over the episode. I can't really think of anything. I know they made the attack. Ahsoka was like, "Hey, we should study this wall." Anakin was like, "We're not even going to be by there." They ended up there later, but
yeah, they were bickering again, weren't they?
Oh yeah,
master
definitely.
and apprentice. I ultimately think it's always Ahsoka. It's a message for Ahsoka, right? We're driving forward on the Ahsoka show.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely one of those situations where she was able to come back and say, "I told you so."
Yeah, I told you so. Exactly. So we will get right into it here. Let me see. All right. So here we have the actual factory, and that is our good buddy Poggle the Lesser. If you're seeing that there. And right next to him is TX21. And he is actually the first character I wanted to share tonight. Look how awesome he looks, We actually got this figure, and I was really glad that we got this figure because they took the time to repaint. Who was the first one that we got? It was TX20, right? So this is TX21, and they actually took the time to repaint him. But what did he come with? He had like
it almost looked like a mini. It wasn't a tank, but
yeah.
it was like a small tank speeder / I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, something along those lines. I forget what it was called though.
Yeah, but here is
But they did miss some of the paint apps on it. I remember when it was released.
I'll tell you what. And this is the actual character that Hasbro had put out. And look at that paint job. This is kind of that end of the line. This is kind of why things were starting to fall apart. I just look at this thing and I'm like, oh God, it's terrible. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like I needed to repaint it. So that's what I'm going to share first. Our first custom of the night is a repaint of TX21. So this is a little bit more embellished, I guess I would say. What I did is I actually took the back of the box. If you're not really an established painter, or maybe you're not as confident, in your skills in painting, you could always use the product box as an example. And that's what I did with this. I just looked at the back of the box and I said, well, it looks really nice right there. They probably have people in there that take their time to make a commercial quality image, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's what I felt I tried to do here. Just a straight up repaint. And it's a far cry from this crazy thing. Isn't that just terrible?
Yeah, you can definitely see there's more definition and with yours.
Yeah, I added a little bit. I had like the little dots in the mouth and whatnot.
Yeah, that was my favorite. That was the first thing my eye was drawn to when I first saw it.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Well, we will move on, and they're going over all the different things in the factory. And once again, we're back to like Hell Hive, right? This is Geonosis again, and look at all those droids, and we're getting the first kind of rendition of a Clone Wars-esque Geonosian droid. You know, it had the yellow on it. You can see the yellow, but it also had kind of the rock style color to the earth, kind of that earth tone on there. Would you say it's like a salmon or something, or like a maroon?
Yeah, it has it almost reminds me some of Utah where you had like the reddish stone or
Right. Yeah. So this is the factory, and here comes the Republic Army. I counted these. There's 14 Star Cruisers there. This is like the biggest. This is like the biggest army they've ever invaded with. So it seems, right?
Yeah, I don't remember them ever having an armada that large.
Yeah, just unbelievably huge, right? And you think they're just going to knock it out really fast. I guess this is where Geonosis is where the whole war started. So they want to just nip this in the bud really fast. And here we have one of my favorite Jedis that I just adore this guy. I don't know why. He's just so kind of, I just like his character, you know. He has that goatee and the cone head, and he was nice and soft-spoken. I was just waiting for this guy to come on the show, and here he is. You know, for prequel people, or prequel lovers, I should say, you know, he should be a welcome sight, right?
Yeah, he was an interesting Jedi. I don't know if you ever studied his backstory, but he's actually one of the few Jedi who was allowed to be married and have a partner because his species was so rare.
Yeah, and I heard wasn't there some other story too, like he was the first Jedi to be invited onto the council, and he wasn't a master yet.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think there was some other scenario with him. It was in that mini series in the Dark Horse comics that they had. I really dug those.
Was it Republic? Is that the name of it?
No. Well, was it Republic?
I do remember that they had a series
Republic.
that took place during the. Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and he went to Tatooine and everything, and he had to fight. He had to fight.
Oh no, that's completely. I think.
Yeah,
that was a comic series in its own.
Yeah.
I have
definitely in there. I have it too. I have it somewhere
in this room.
Yeah, it's somewhere in this room. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But he's very interesting, and I'm actually glad they brought him in. And it's awesome. They go right into the ship, and here's him and Obi-Wan talking, and Obi-Wan's like, "I can't believe we're here again." I love when they connect to a movie or just the series of movies. I think that's what gives the show a lot of power, when they connect to a movie. We get another statement later on when they're in the hangar, and Obi-Wan is talking to Cody, and he's like, "The last time I was here, I was chained to a column, and I was going to be attacked by huge monsters." So I just love the idea of connecting the movie with an episode, right?
Oh yeah, the Clone Wars is great for embellishing and just really enhancing the prequels. For
sure. So here I thought what I would do is just a fresh repaint on Ki-Adi-Mundi. Mainly just his head. You can tell I didn't repaint his body. But if you're seeing this here, my favorite thing that I do, I added a lightsaber to his belt. And if you're interested in knowing how to do that, basically what I do is I find something that looks like a peg, and I'll drill with my Dremel tool into the hilt, and I'll physically put a little glue in there and stick the peg in there so that it's nice and strong. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you just glue something to the lightsaber hilt, it'll have a tendency to break off. So what I do, one of my tips for the night would be to literally Dremel into, you need one of the smaller tools or whatever, but Dremel into the lightsaber and then push the peg in with some super glue. And that gives you a nice strong hold. I learned that lesson a long time after lightsabers would just constantly break. You know, the little pins that I tried to glue to the side and whatnot.
I was so happy I found a loose version of him for $5 this week, just in a plastic bag, hanging out in this, like, it's kind of a vintage toy shop. They have one in Connecticut. They have another one up in Providence, Rhode Island, called
Yeah.
Toy Vault. But
Wow.
yeah, I ended up scoring one of him for $5, and it's so, with the Clone Wars, the prices on the figures going up so high, and
Yeah.
it's becoming more and more difficult to find fodder. I was really happy to walk away with that this week.
Yeah, I try to get them wherever I can, however cheap I can, anytime I can. I try to get them if I see deals. Mostly for me, it's on eBay. That's the only place I really go to find toys.
Yeah, I do that a lot too. That's why I was so happy this time, because it was $5. I didn't even have to worry about shipping.
Very good, very good. That's always a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
All
shipping
right.
could be the killer.
For sure. Yeah, especially from our buddy over in, is he in Hong Kong? Tungori.
I think he's a Macau, or
Yeah.
I forget.
All right. Well, let's move on. So there's my Kiadi Mundi one more time. And here they're going over the plan, and they have this rock solid plan, right? They're all going to just invade this thing and blow up this wall and get to that Geonosis hive where they're assembling the droids and whatnot. And you have a whole circle of people talking about this, and it's apparently going to go off perfect. So they think, right? So here they're going to go and they're going to get they're going to get this invasion going. And here we are out in the hangar, and I have a couple customs here that I'm going to show. This was the introduction to the red Y-wing. Wasn't that awesome? The red Y-wing.
Yeah, that was one of the cooler ships that we got. The Clone Wars action figure line has some really awesome vehicles, and one of the coolest vehicles they had was, I guess, the yellow Y-wing.
Yeah, right.
But you know, it was really cool. I've actually seen your version of the Y-wing, which is from these episodes, and I'll let you take over from here.
Okay. Well, back to my picture, if you're seeing that, we have a couple things going on here. We have our awesome hangar tech, right? And we also have our YPLO, or our plunk droid, right? So we have a couple different characters in here with the Y-wing, and I thought I'd share those. We've shared these characters before. So I thought I'd share the hangar tech again. Basic build for this guy. I used Obi-Wan, and I just grinded him down. And then all the elements that you're seeing, the pockets, the vest, the belt buckle, the straps on his legs, everything is that awesome stuff that we use called Procreate. Even the helmet is made out of Procreate, and that's just a clone trooper head put on there.
How did you, with the Procreate on the head, did you end up doing that stripe down the middle first, and then after like that was kind of set, did you then add the sides, or did you do it all at once?
No, I added the whole helmet, and then I did the yellow part afterwards. So it basically it basically sits on top of it. You know what I'm saying? And then the headphones were separate too. I just basically stack those on there too, and then just gave him an entire repaint, and he just turned out super cool, super cool. And there's the PYLO, so I call him. He's just basically a plunk droid. I call him P as in plunk, YLO, yellow. You get it. And that's another character in the hangar tech. But what I really wanted to show was I took the time and repainted that Y-wing. And before we go into that, check out the hangar is so sparse except for these Y-wings, and I guess they're the special Geonosis Y-wings, right?
Yeah, we didn't really see them in any other episodes except for this one.
Yeah, check that out. I didn't realize that, but there's that orange droid again. And we're actually getting that orange droid in a realistic form um, in the Entertainment Earth pack. You know, that new exclusive pack that they're going to be putting out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I don't know how many collectors are, but I know I am.
It was the price. The price is a killer. I think they ended up being like $13.50 a piece for those.
They were all droids I really wanted, though.
Yeah.
So usually, like, you know, the old Build-A-Droid line, we got a lot of droids that I barely even remembered who they were.
Mm-hmm.
But like at least this time around, we're getting Build-A-Droids of like droids that are at least noteworthy enough to be like, oh, I know that droid. You know, pretty much all of them are droids that I'm familiar with, which I'm really happy about.
But you know what I found odd about that pack is I don't know if you have any information on it right now, but this character that they're going to be putting in that pack, they changed the name. It's not R7F5. It's something else. It's something totally different. I got this. Yeah, I know. I got this R7F5 out of that old Clone Wars magazine where it had that whole lineup of all those droids. Such a great image, right?
Yeah, actually, we collected that magazine here at home for a little while.
Yeah, great kids magazine, and definitely gives you great imagery for Clone Wars for sure.
Especially for people like us who like to make the figures.
Yeah. But check this image out. This is my Y-Wing. No, I'm just joking. This is the Y-Wing, the die-cast Y-Wing from 1978. And this is what those Y-Wings were based on, believe it or not. This is where that idea came from. Filoni always had in mind to make, some element of the toy built into the show. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I never even knew that existed.
Yeah, it's just a small little die-cast Y-Wing, and they were never yellow. It always came out in red, and we're just like, well, where's the red one? Where's the red one?
They did a nice job weathering and bringing out all the detail.
Yeah, or maybe that's just dust from 1978.
It could be. Yeah.
I borrowed this photo from the web, so forgive me if I took your picture, folks. So I'll go to mine. Just the Y-Wing itself, the yellow and white one that came out, was such an amazing toy. I definitely had to get another one and repaint this thing. It was essential. It was essential. So this is something I did, gosh, way back in 2010. That seemed to be like,
this was a commission, wasn't it?
I think I just ended up selling it.
Oh, okay.
Online. I sold it on eBay. And it was just straight up repaint of the Y-Wing. And I've since done another version of this. It was the leader variation, basically. And I actually made it all legit. I took that logo and I actually made a vinyl logo, and I replaced it with vinyl instead of actual paint and everything. But I think this one turned out pretty good, don't you?
Oh God, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I did all those lines by hand too, and the other one, and I'll show that later on down the road. The leader variation actually had some different elements on it, and it popped up in the Doug episode. So this is the landing at Point Rain one. It seems like they were the first thing to take off out of the hangar, yet they were missing. They were missing in action. I don't know where they were bombing because we didn't get them until kind of the end of the episode. And
yeah, they were kind of like the relief that they had needed at that time.
Right. I don't know where,
secure a victory.
Yeah, I don't know where they went, but this is my first attempt at a vehicle. Painting a vehicle, and that's how it turned out. I thought it turned out pretty good. Basically just doing it by hand. And this is what I was referring to. Just such a cool shot. They just go out and they're in the sky and everything, and they're taking off. And it's just reminiscent of Star Wars when you see those jets, right? Those cool jets. I love those.
Yeah, that's a cool shot.
Yeah, so here's the hangar that I was talking about, and check that out. Here's the first introduction to the laser pod. Of course, they got to put it on there because we first saw them on Geonosis, right? I don't think we've seen the laser pod since Geonosis, right? That little, that little bubble on the side.
Yeah, I think this is the only time we are seeing it that I can remember. Those were pretty hard to get after, like when they first came out. They were pretty highly sought after, and man, they're next to impossible to secure nowadays if you want to, add those to your Republic gunships. I'm fortunate. I think I have 2 sets, I think. So I have
would be a great thing
2 ships that have them. But
3D print, that would be a great thing to 3D print for sure.
Do they have the ability to 3D print in like a clear plastic or no?
I don't know.
That would have been a good question for me to ask in my episode.
Yeah, that's or Dayton, our good buddy Sithfire. Ask him how he molds clear stuff, because he seems to do it.
Oh, he uses a vacuum form.
Oh, all right, very cool.
And you could do like probably a half dome and then just glue the 2 pieces together.
Yeah.
With the vacuum.
So here we are. Back in the battle, and like you were saying, it was just rocking us. If you had it up loud, it was just like, whoa, man, this is a war flick. This is really happening. And of course, they have like the Nexu on the bomb and everything. I'm not sure what that says, but just total carnage in the sky. Just all these ships are just getting blasted out of the sky. It was unbelievable. And there's a couple of nose arts I'd like to share on this episode. You know what this one's meant to say here? It's meant to say Death Troopers. Isn't that interesting?
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, because we're getting Death Troopers in Rogue One. So, very cool. And look at this, right? Look at that big old gunship. And this is kind of our little Easter egg. Not necessarily.
Is that a Rishi eel on the front of that?
There it is, man. Look at that. It's a Rishi eel, man. Is that so cool?
That's cool. I never noticed that one before.
Yeah, they did another one too where, there's a wampa on the front of it. This vehicle here, and unfortunately they did not make it because it would just be
that's one I would have loved.
Massive. It's the LA.
Lego made that.
Yeah, I know. I looked it up today. It's the low altitude low altitude assault transport / carrier. And yeah, there's the Lego version. And they have that other type of walker that holds all the troops, right?
Yep.
That's unbelievable that they made this stuff. The things they do with Legos.
Lego is pretty cool as far as like making a lot of the things that we wish we got from Hasbro, like Sugi ship, or they just put out from Star Wars Rebels. They just put out the AT-TE that Rex, Wolf, and Gregor were all in.
Yep. And it is it the Phantom? The Phantom fits on top of it.
Oh yeah, they did the Ghost and they did the Ghost and the Phantom, which we still haven't gotten in the 3 3/4 scale from Hasbro yet.
Yep, I bet we're gonna keep on waiting. Right? Unfortunately,
I got my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
That's like not making the Millennium Falcon. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. I think they dropped the ball on Rebels a lot. There were some people talking about that. I guess it was dubbed Rebels Gate.
Oh, really?
The distribution.
I was listening to an episode of Toy Run, and they kind of talked a little bit about the lack of Rebels product.
Yeah. Yeah, it really stinks. In my opinion, I think it should be much, much better. I definitely
Yeah, I would
think,
have liked a more robust line similar to Clone Wars, if
right,
that
right.
would have been nice to see.
I think it has a little bit to do with Disney, to be honest. I mean, that's me putting on my tinfoil hat, but I think they want you to veer more towards live action, and they don't want to give the animation as much credit. Because I have this
That's
talk
kind of
all,
silly though, because when you think about it, I mean, we're getting a weekly dose of this show. So of course we're going to be a little more attached. We're spending more time, we're more involved, we're more invested.
yeah,
A film, you watch it 2 hours, you're done. And of course, as Star Wars fans, you revisit everything constantly. You're
yeah,
never, as a Star Wars fan, you're never in the mode of movie of the year, or because you're always going to watch those movies over and over and over again. And I'm going to be watching Empire Strikes Back or Phantom Menace just as much as I'm watching Force Awakens. I'm probably going to do a marathon here and there.
hmm,
And to like ignore the older material or the animated material is foolish,
yeah.
because all those movies are constantly fresh in our minds at all times because we're constantly rewatching them.
Yeah, I just think with Disney, they're moving away from animation. You know, it was George Lucas that wanted to do animation. He was the guy that was saying, "I'm interested in doing animation." You know, they're moving towards live action. You know, we have the Jungle Book. We're getting the Beauty and the Beasts live action. They're all live action now. You know, they don't want to do animation anymore, which is so strange because they're like the kings of animation, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely were.
Yeah. Anywho, let's move back to this thing before we go on some crazy rant, right? Rant
Yeah.
tirade. Yeah, I think I would. Because I know that's one of the reasons we do this show, folks. We love the Clone Wars. We saw just the other day, just 2 days ago, somebody had put the petition back up
To
to
save the
bring
Clone Wars, bring it
to
back.
save the Clone Wars. Bring it back, folks. Unbelievable. And
I'll always sign that petition. You
yeah,
never know.
I would too. I would too. We're not sure what's going to happen. You know, where they're going to take the Clone Wars. We're not necessarily thinking it's going to come back or anything, or that our motivation is for that. We would certainly love it for sure.
I
But
think they should probably just do, how they do like those Barbie straight to DVD or straight to video releases.
right, yeah,
I don't know why they just don't do like one off, like, put out a set with an arc and
right,
just do a one off direct to DVD release. And man, Clone Wars fans will eat that up. Sure, we're not getting a full season, but if they ever did that, Bo Katan and Ahsoka
mhm,
Tano invade Mandalore to overthrow Maul as a straight to DVD and just, put that arc out, everybody would buy that in a heartbeat. The same
so
amount of people that bought a season
yeah.
box set would jump on that just as quick. Even if it's only, $10, they'll make their money back, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're
Especially if it's
saying bring
something
it
quality
back.
like that.
Bring it back to just finish it out, right?
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do a full blown season if you just release an arc a year. Even if it's something only 4 episodes a year, people are still going to watch it. People are still going to buy that release.
Hmm.
I think I would. I mean, I'm a completist, especially if it's something like Clone Wars. That's my favorite Star Wars content of all time. I'm certainly gonna go and get that direct to DVD release.
Yeah, and they
And it does,
certainly they can't sweep it under the rug either. I mean, it's just so powerful, so powerful.
yeah, you can't put it to rest. When you look at now, it's like you can't even kill off Ahsoka at this point because she's so popular.
Yeah, he's afraid to pull the trigger, isn't he? I think he is. I think
Well,
he's
it would
afraid
be
to pull the
foolish.
trigger.
She's what you think? What was it? 2 years ago when they used to do the March Madness, she beat Luke Skywalker
Yep,
in the
yep.
head to head in the first round. That
Hmm.
speaks volumes.
Yeah,
That says everything right there.
she's a great character. They're taking her in places that, yeah. She's the first
her own show,
right? She definitely needs her for her own show for sure. But let's get back into this episode before we go way off track. That's what we do, folks. We love the Clone Wars so much that we could talk about this all night. I know we can, and who knows what younger audiences are feeling right now about the Clone Wars. But here we are. Like I said, this plan has gone terribly, and they actually put down Cody's men are down, and here we have Waxer and Boyle again. So nice to see some of the named troopers come back. You're like, well, they're probably going to get it this episode. And they make it out of it, don't they? They make it out of this episode.
They do. And that was pretty cool. We actually got those. Well, which one? We get Waxer released?
We got 3 of them. We got 3 of them. We got Trapper, Waxer, and Boyle.
Oh, we got them all. Okay.
Yeah, we got 3 of them. We got 3 versions of this character. And actually, while you brought that up, I feel like this is one of the episodes, or this is one of the arcs, the whole Geonosis arc, because this is just the beginning of 2 more episodes, or actually I should say 3 more episodes. Weapons Factory, Legacy of Terror, and Braden Raiders, where they connect everything. It's just a giant arc about the Geonosians. What do you think about it? You say Geonosians,
like when we were talking. Yeah, I would say it's about the Geonosians. And to think about it, like in some ways, Senate Spy, like when we were talking about this off air, we were kind of saying how in a lot of ways Senate Spy kind of ties into this too, because you have Poggle there. They're talking about the weapons factory, and it's kind of the lead-in to this whole thing. And in some ways, it's part of this arc.
Yeah, that's what's cool about season 1, season 2. Not so much season 3, but season 1 and 2, they really have all that lead up. It's either an arc or it's an episode that leads you into the next episode. Really great, really, really great. So here we have Waxer and Boyle, and they're sent to go find Obi-Wan because he got shot down. Anakin got shot down too, but they were able to get into communication with Anakin again. And they're not sure what happened to Obi-Wan. And that's the real concern right now. So Waxer and Boyle go out to try to hunt down Obi-Wan. I'm not sure why Cody wasn't on the same ship as Obi-Wan, but
he's powerful enough, I guess, as a leader.
Yeah.
Where you could probably have like, hey, Cody, you take this group of guys, I'll take this group of guys. I would say probably he's a strong enough where he probably had his own unit that he was leading.
Yeah. But what I was just about to say was this whole arc gave us some of the most the biggest amount of toys for one single arc. You know what I'm saying? We got so many different things.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Very much so. I don't think I ever made it. Like, you're gonna see this whole arc here. I don't think I made any figures from it at all because I felt like I had almost everything at the time. I was like, this isn't one of those arcs where I need to create a lot from. When we get to future episodes, I'll talk about what I would have liked to have created or what I may create at some point in time when I have a lot of extra money laying around. But, they really did a killer job of making just about everything you could think of for this arc.
And one character they actually didn't make that I took the time to find and actually make was the ATTE gunner, where I think he was like the cannon gunner from the movie, and they just and he had such cool armor on him, and what they did is they just basically repainted him, and I thought I would do that character, and here he is. We're into our next custom, Basically, all I did is just a straight up repaint, but that helmet actually comes off. So we have a character, with a removable helmet. I was able to get that online from a friend of mine, and he got it from one of the awesome molders and casters. I don't have the name for the shout out, but he made just amazing casts of all the different helmets, like every helmet under the sun. And what he did is he hollowed them out so you can have removable helmets. And he was an eBay seller, and like I said, I can't recall the name, unfortunately. So
was it Sith Happens?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't want to give him the wrong credit if it wasn't him, but I know Sith Happens is definitely one of those dudes that does.
Yeah, he was pretty good about making a lot of, doing exactly what you said, hollowing out helmets and making a lot of stuff from those.
And that's what this was in this case. I don't have a picture of this character with the helmet off. I probably do somewhere, but I didn't put it in this set, so I apologize, folks. But like I said, this is just a really cool repaint, to add to what they've already given us, a ton of stuff. And there's Trapper there, right next to Kenobi. And check that out. What's on Waxer's?
I'm seeing a Numa.
Yep. Isn't that so cool?
They actually painted it on the actual figure when they made it. You actually get the Numa on there.
Yeah, I know. It's so cool. I just dug this stuff when it came out. Like you said, it had kind of a huge effect on everybody. This episode, this landing at Point Rain.
It's one of the most memorable episodes, I would say, ever done on the show.
Right. And here we have another brand new commander. This was kind of a head scratcher for me. His name is Commander Jet, and we got him as well. How come Jet? That's my question. How come Jet, not Bakara? Where's Bakara?
Yeah.
Right? Because Bakara, what I'm talking about, folks, is Bakara was the commander that was sent to Megiddo in Revenge of the Sith with Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Yep.
And I always told myself, this guy's amazing. He's cool. Jet's awesome. Maybe he just gets killed or something. He gets blown up. Yeah.
A lot of clones bit it in this one.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe he just gets killed and Ki-Adi-Mundi gets a new character. And they even said that if they were to do more of the Lost missions and more of the episodes or further seasons, that they were actually going to bring Bakara into the Clone Wars. Yeah. So I thought that was cool. And here's Anakin and Ahsoka with their batarangs, and they're going to use these cool little tools to kind of get up the side of the wall, basically, so they can go and blow it up. This is once.
That's the actual wall that Ahsoka said we had to study, and Anakin was like,
right.
We don't even bother studying that. We're not even going to be there. And then sure enough, they end up there, and it ends up being a base, essentially.
Yeah. It was a fortress, I think Yularen said. It's a fortress. It's not a wall. It's a fortress. All right. So there's our guy again, the ATTE gunner. And I believe they end up shooting that Geonosian bug off of him. Those were really cool, the bugs.
Oh, yeah. They were like grabbing guys, flying up in the air, dropping clone troopers from heights. And they were pretty powerful adversaries.
Yeah. And then they definitely blew up the wall. So they succeeded in their mission. And they showed this clip. If you're looking at this here, if you're seeing this, I thought that Rex was buying it in this episode. They show this on Cartoon Network. They'll show like little clips, previews to the episode and whatnot. And they show this, and you see Rex just getting blown up. It just looks like Rex getting blown up. And I'm like, Rex is done. Rex is over. I always said
I actually really dig this scene, and my reasoning actually has to do with Mace Windu. He's not in this episode that I can remember, but you always have that argument, like, people say, how could Mace Windu have survived after episode 3, when he went out the window in his battle with Palpatine. And you could see very easily how a Jedi could fall from a great height and stop themselves from hitting the ground right before they hit it with the use of the Force. And we
True.
all know that, Luke lost his hand and survived. We all know that Luke, more than just Luke, have been hit with lightning, Force lightning, in a battle with the Sith. So if we know that there's all 3 things that have happened to Mace Windu, have now been proven either through Clone Wars or, other releases, film releases down the line. How could you say that Mace Windu died?
Right. Right. I was just going over that the other night. I could go either way, to be honest. I could go kind of the path that he died just because they needed him to die, where he's not really essential to the story. Again,
No, but he could be essential to a future story.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. He could easily force push. And I guess I was talking to a guy the other night, and I was like, well, maybe that blast that Palpatine gave him, maybe it jogged his brain or like knocked him out or something.
Yeah.
And maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was knocked. Yeah, maybe he was knocked out when he went out the window.
But at the same time, we all know how tall those buildings are in Coruscant, and how long it takes to get to the underworld. So
yeah,
he might have had plenty of time, even if he was like temporarily unconscious. He could have been free falling for a long time before he woke up.
Yeah. Yep. There's arguments on both sides. You never.
Oh yeah, no, definitely, completely. But at least what I liked about this particular scene was that it showed that, Mace Windu could have lived.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Where they use him, I guess that's where, if they decide that he's alive, where do they use him? That's the question I pose to anybody.
I would say give the guy his own movie.
Yeah. Wow. Because I feel like he's so powerful. He would, he's like, too many cooks in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's a big galaxy.
Yeah. I would feel like he'd have to humble himself out, you know what I'm saying? And not be as powerful or minded or strong-willed and say, wow.
Yeah, I would like to see him humbled for sure. I think that would be a good character arc for him.
Yeah. This is the first time we saw flames too. That looked really cool.
Yeah, that was another toy release that they did. I mean, they really covered all bases in this, like as far as like the different types of clones, for sure.
Yeah, they went to every extreme they could. It was its own toy line, pretty much. That's how many products they had just specifically for this arc, which is unreal. And I don't have a count right now, but I'll try to get it to you. Or maybe I'll put it in the show notes or something like that. The number of products that they had just for this specific arc. Another one that they do that's coming up is the Clone Cadets one with the ARC troopers and all that, with the Heavy, and that one, they have a lot of product too. Ton of product. Just that whole thing, that arc with when they're still cadets, they go back. It's in season 3.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
Yeah,
I've seen some people turn some of the action figure versions of these guys into Clone Wars Galactic Marines.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've seen that too. Yeah. Yeah, I actually been working on, how I brought up Bakara earlier. I'm actually working on a Clone Wars centric Bakara, kind of a custom, Lost Missions, if you will, or like if that actually happened, what he would look like. So this is definitely a character you could use to make the Galactic Marine for sure. But they went to that snowtrooper-esque helmet, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah, I thought these were great too. They had those shoulder pads and whatnot. And here's our Y-wing. It comes rolling in, saves the day, right?
Yep.
Drops some
Reinforcements.
bombs, saves the day. And you know, the whole time, Anakin and Ahsoka are playing this game.
Yeah. Who could destroy more battle droids?
Yeah. How many kills did you have, right?
Yep.
And everybody's like, don't play around with that right now. People have died. This is silly, Ahsoka. And Ki-Adi-Mundi rolls up and he's like, I got 65, Skywalker. What do you got? He's like, what?
Yeah, I think the way it worked out, Ahsoka felt like she got more than Anakin, but Anakin's like, well, I called in the Y-wing strike, so we're even. And I think they both tied at 60, and then Ki-Adi-Mundi comes in, and he's like 65.
Yeah, man, and Anakin's like, you got my forever.
You forever have my respect, or something like that. And Obi-Wan's like, you know, that's actually a big compliment. Anakin doesn't give away that kind of praise often.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Paraphrasing, of course, but yeah.
Yeah, paraphrasing. Yeah, he doesn't bestow that upon anybody or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So Obi-Wan and Ki-Adi are actually injured, so they're going to jump in a bacta tank, but that doesn't mean they're going away. They're just going back up to the fleet, basically. They're going to jump in a bacta tank. I'd like to jump in a bacta tank right now. But that's what they're going to do until the next episode, where, like I said, we're going to be moving into Weapons Factory, and I believe we're going to do Weapons Factory and Legacy of Terror next week together. We're going to talk about both of those, and we're going to leave Brain Invaders to be its own thing, because I love talking about that episode. It's so cool. But that is our show, folks, and I thought it was awesome. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites of the series.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Thanks for joining us, folks. If you want to find me, I am on Facebook at Peak Obi-Wan Custom Creations right here. You can see that. I'm also on Instagram at Peak Obi-Wan Custom Figures. Where can we find you?
You could find me at the Customs for the Kid blog at www.customsforthekid.blogspot.com. From there, you can get links to find us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Google+, Pinterest. Pretty much all bases are covered. Yeah, so I look forward to seeing you all next week, and until then, may the Force be with you.
Take care, folks.